Good afternoon. So I'm still at it, struggling to tell you. The latest problem is it refuses to work. I mean, everything's working up to the point where I'm supposed to be reading the cookie. This function, useDrit, is all its purpose is its life is to read the cookie and send back the values. Now, I'll show you. I actually have a cookie. So here's my cookie currently existing. All I need to do is read this cookie. That's all I need to do. Nothing too complicated. Got my cookie value down here. It's what it is. It's show URL decoded. I don't know. Does that even do anything? No, it doesn't do anything. But yeah, that is my cookie. And it'll even show it here. So like I have a check for cookie, which is right. Oh no, that's part of the nav bar. The nav bar is calling check for cookie. And then we got getting cookie values, which is right here. Okay, so we got getting cookie values. And then none of this happens. And yeah, none of it happens. And I've been trying to get ChatGPT and Blackbox AI to tell me why it's not happening, but it keeps telling me, oh, well, it's probably not set yet. It's set. There's the cookie. Now, yes, it may have not been set when it was called the first time, but that's what the use effect's for, right? It's supposed to trigger it to call it again. So Blackbox AI told me to put a call to the cookies whenever it changes, right? So whenever cookies.get a UCL AU token changes. But here's the problem. When I go back up to my console, it keeps coming back as cookie not found. So my values are not in there. So cookie not found only should come up if no cookie result gets broken, right? Or gets returned. And only time that happens, the only time no cookie result returns is when we have an else, where my token doesn't have a value. That's the only time no cookie result comes back. So obviously what's happening is we are not, and interestingly enough, we are not even going in here, right? Because if it was, I'd be getting things like some of the stuff you'd be seeing would be decoding token. See, none of that happens. And here we got use DWIT token. Nah, that don't happen either. So, here's use. Oh no, use DWIT token does come through. But so my cookie.get is failing. I'm not getting the UCL token. So why is cookies.get failing? Because I do have a token. If I go back again over to the app, there you go, UCL token, UCL underscore AU token, UCL underscore AU token. All right, so there's probably something wrong with this call. Like cookies, JS cookie can't read it, or something. There's something going on here. All right, let's go back here. I'm going to actually ask. Cookies.get is returning undefined, even though I can see the cookie when I inspect console app. Make sure that the cookie is set for the correct domain. What? What do you mean a cookie set for the correct domain? If the cookie is set for a different domain or subdomain, cookies.get might not be able to access it. Cookie path. Check the cookie's path. If the cookie is set for a specific path, e.g. /API, cookies.get might not be able to access it if you're trying to access it from a different path. How would I check that? I mean, okay, so if I go to use utils cookie post, this actually isn't the one that's going to write to the cookie, to be honest. Response cookie JSON, console log message, error, set cookie, login error. As long as, yeah, so this doesn't actually do the login. Utils cookie is actually doing that. That's here. Now this is going to cookie, set the cookie. So I don't see a change in path. I don't know how. Cookies.set, HTTP secure production, same site path, root path available on all pages. Check the cookie details. Inspect the cookie in the browser's console. Hey, well, I'm trying to figure out why my cookie's not being read, even though I know it exists. That's where I'm currently at. I'm trying to get, I have a cookie that my app created that I pulled from an auth API. And you can see it here, the UCL AU token. That's my cookie. But whenever I try to actually read that cookie, I keep getting cookie not found. Jwt values token changed. So I asked Blackbox AI, what do you think, man? What's going on? So it gave me some ideas, and so I'm kind of looking through them to see what's going on here. So it says, check the cookie details. Inspect the cookie in the browser's console and verify its domain path expiration. All right, now let's go do that. Let's go to the domain. Well, you know, okay, this is not ideal. Is there a way to pop this out or put it somewhere? I can't read this. It's too... Move activity bar to left. Toggle device help me. Huh. Alright, well, I guess all I can do is really make this bigger. Let's just pull it out and... okay. Now, the bigger picture of what I'm doing is that I am creating a side-by-side identical applications, one in React, Next.js, and using an auth API that's written in .NET on the back end. And then I'll eventually add another API or add to the auth. I don't think I'll do add, but create another API that actually accesses the database for the functionality of the website. I also have a Blazor application, which I've also created, and I've got the basic front page, but it hasn't been attached to the auth API yet. Actually, I started there, and I was really struggling to get the auth API to work. So I said, you know what, I'm going to try React. And then React kind of came together quicker. So I'm actually able, once I got it all working out, where I was able to get my token to be able to be validated, I've got my token back, I've got my cookie set. Now I'm just trying to read the cookie and start doing stuff with the cookie. But things are not going as planned because my cookie reading function is not working. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going, why is it not reading the cookie, even though it's sitting right here in front of me? So I don't see why the domain would be different, to be honest. That doesn't really make sense because I'm doing the whole thing here and I haven't set the domain. But the path is on the root path. So again, I would think that doesn't matter. because I haven't done anything to change the root path. I would have just guessed it went to the same location. But anyway, that's where I'm at. Joao, I don't, Joao Martins. Joao. I guess I don't know. Sorry, man. I don't want to butcher your name anymore. I'm trying to read it. I don't think I'm figuring it out, unless you tell me I am. But okay. Let's see. Check the cookie details. I did. Use the cookies.getAll method instead of using cookies.get. Try using .getAll to retrieve all cookies. This can help you verify if the cookie is indeed present and accessible. Verify the cookie name. Double check that the cookie name is correct and matches the name used when setting the cookie. Well, I did that. That was my first attempt. Try accessing the cookie using the document.cookie property. You can try accessing the cookie using document.cookie property to see if it's accessible. Portuguese. Oh, really? Portuguese John. Okay. So you're from Portugal? Or you from Portugal? Or do you just have like a Portuguese family who named you with that? I mean, I don't know. I have met a lot of people from a lot of countries doing this. Actually, I have met more people from more countries doing my coding than I have playing games. When I play my games, I've met a few people from other countries, but mostly they're U.S. where I'm at. But coding, I've met Saudi Arabia and India and a lot of people, and now Portugal. And welcome. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, this is all me just trying to learn all these different languages, trying to build my resume so I can get a job. That's really what it comes down to. I've been a C# .NET framework guy for 20 years, 15 plus years on C# specifically and SQL Server. But I'm finding that my skills being .NET framework don't carry over very well to current options in the job market where everybody wants .NET Core or React or Angular or Vue or any one of these other items. You know, they're using Postgres database. Sometimes, I mean, SQL is still a thing. And what's nice thing about SQL is that does carry up, because if you knew SQL Server well, that 2012 version, then you know it well enough now. As long as you were still fluid in it, you know, because time goes by, you lose it if you haven't been doing anything. But I'm just saying, switching from 2012 to 2020 has got some updates, some new cool stuff, but it doesn't really change what you know. I mean, the SQL still all works. But the basic paradigms of going from .NET Framework to .NET Core is a pretty big switch. MVC we never used. We were trying to get our code updated at my last job, but you know, they never let us. Yeah, and I just .NET Core is close, but the thing is, I'm trying to use Blazor to familiarize myself with the changes in .NET Core, because I have not had an opportunity to work in .NET Core. So the thing is, I need to actually do something in there, you know, familiarize myself with the new structures and the new setups. And I mean, I know a lot of it is, you know, components and models and views and the whole MVC stuff. And so I'm getting familiar with that as I go through Blazor, which uses a lot of those same setups. And I like it. I'm getting there. But again, it's a lot of just doing, right? Getting in there, getting the code. But I don't want to tell an employer like, hey, I've been doing .NET Framework for 20 years. And then they say, well, can you do .NET Core? I don't want to say, well, yeah, of course. I mean, you know, big deal. I probably could. But I don't know the way those applications are structured anymore. How those applications are structured. Now I'm getting there now. I'm starting to get a premise on it. The .NET 8 API, authorization API I wrote, uses all of that. So I'm starting to get there where I feel like, oh, well, this ain't so bad. But what I am struggling with is there are some things that .NET, well, I won't say .NET Core specifically, but Blazor does that are just not familiar to me. I mean, they use a few different object models and stuff that are used quite a bit. Like the builder and the app, and knowing what all those do. And the thing is about builder is weird is you can have it, you can set all kinds of stuff in builder, and a lot of them don't even, they're not even what do I want to say, that they don't all work together. I don't think they all work against each other, but it's basically all these settings you're setting up, and you say app.build, and it's kind of like going in VS Code and importing every single extension. Or just grabbing all the ones you need and 20 you don't. You can do that with Builder. You can put all the ones you need and 20 you don't. It don't care. It's going to build them all in there. Then you end up with all kinds of crap, overhead junk that you don't need. So you got to make sure that when you're using it, you're only using the stuff you need, and you keep it clean, because you don't want your code to look cluttered. And that's where I'm confused, because a lot of times I'm not sure as I'm trying to learn all the settings. I'm trying to learn all the settings that Builder can take, or even app, when you're using the app to build it. And so learning all those and which ones are the best, and learning the best practices kind of thing. That's a lot of what I'm doing right now, learning. And then I'm also been trying to work on one of my other things I got to get back to here probably the next week. I'm going to start going back to my Azure 204, AZ204 Azure development certification course that I was doing on Coursera, and I'm about 3/4 of the way through. I think there's seven sub courses, and I was on like 6 or 5 or 6. So I got to go back in there, finish those off, and then let's study and try to get the actual test and see if I can pass the AZ204 certification, which will be nice too. I can put that on my resume. Hopefully that'll give me a couple of bonus points while I'm looking for work. But yeah, it's been a struggle. I've put out 150 plus resumes in 3.5 months, and I have had exactly 2 interviews. So, and I think I had like 3 calls that led to 2 interviews. Yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly stuff. And in a lot of cases now, I'm able to say I at least know some React, and I know Next.js, and I also took a class in GraphQL and Python. I took Python simply. I took a beginner Python fundamentals, just so that I could see, because I thought maybe this is like, what is this? How is this so different from C#? And I need to go in there and learn what this is. And boy, that was a mistake. Okay, so taking any programming fundamentals class with 20 years plus of programming, and it's actually probably been more than that, to be honest, but just C# or whatever, is a mistake for any developer. So don't ever take a coding fundamentals in any language, even if you've never seen it before. I don't care if it's Fortran. Fundamentals classes get into stuff that if you've been doing 20 years of programming, all of the basic stuff. They're going to talk about things like variables and loop structures and decision structures, and they're going to talk about all that crap, and they're going to spend a lot of time on it, and you're going to waste a lot of time. So in almost every case, you're better off starting off with like an intermediate, at least something where they expect you to already know the basics. And then you start getting into the other language. Basically, the whole point of learning another language isn't so much to learn the what do you call it? The how. It's the syntax, right? You're just trying to learn the syntax. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing right now. That's what this is. The applications I'm building, the 2 side-by-side applications, they're called the Ultimate Neighborhood Ladder, as you can see up in the corner here. It's actually, I changed my mind. It's like the Ultimate Community Ladder, and I just haven't changed the name of the project here yet. But you can see that my cookie name is UCL, which is Ultimate Community Ladder. And this project, I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time. I play tennis, or at least I used to play a lot of tennis. but I love tennis. I love playing pickleball. I love play. I'm competitive. I bowl. I have a 200 plus average. At least I did in bowling. And then of course I play a lot of board games and video games and other stuff like that. And what I wanted to do was create an app that will allow you to have. There used to be a tennis ladder around here where you'd sign up, you'd put your name in, say what, let them know what your rating is. You know, your 3.0 or 5, whatever your rating is in tennis, and then basically you join this ladder, and then you challenge the people ahead of you in the ladder, and you can move up to 10 spots forward by beating them. So even if you beat somebody 20 spots, you still can only move 10. But if you beat someone 5, you'd move up 5. So you would just kind of jump up, and they would just shove down one space. So the ladder was constantly shuffling as people tried to climb the ladder. And it was great. It was fun. I mean, I think I got into the top 10 at the 3.0 ladder a couple of years. I played like 3 years. And everybody just kind of calls, emails each other, text, because it's all inside of the app. And they would email and contact each other, say, hey, do you want to play? We can go meet at such and such courts or whatever. And it's usually a 5 to 10 mile radius, it's a community thing, right? And so they'd have different areas. You'd say, well, I play in the north end, and some would, you could play in Seattle or wherever. And they actually grew. They actually had it where they were playing the whole Northwest, this tennis thing. But it eventually shut down, apparently, because I can't find it anymore. I went to go look for them because I hadn't played in a couple of years and I wanted to get back into it. And that ladder disappeared. So I said, it'd be kind of cool. Maybe I'll build something like that can allow for the same basic thing. Now, you would pay to get into the ladder, but and then at the end of the season, each rating group could win something, like either a small trophy or a T-shirt or something, just for being in the top 1 or 2 or 3 of the ladder. And that's kind of my idea. I think it's kind of cool. I want to develop it. Probably won't even be a paid thing at first, and probably won't be any prizes either, but I just want to get it going. And that is the project I'm building here. I just want to build it up and see if I can get it going. Now, assuming I don't get a job, which if I don't get a job, I'll be living on the street within time. I got a little bit of time before it gets too hairy. Yeah, it won't be that bad. Trust me. I'll be living with my parents. My wife will love that, but hey, hey, but the Lord's got a plan for me. I'm going to just wait for him to come through. I know he's got something lined up, so I'm going to keep looking, keep just doing my part, learning the skills, and waiting for that to come in. Besides that fact, I'm going to keep, just trying to do this thing and get better. And I do it on streaming so people could see not just people, not just the random world, but maybe even a potential employer who would go, oh, he's learning this, or he knows this, or he's getting a hang of that. .NET Maui? What is .NET Maui? And Azure from that project. Yeah, I'm hoping to take my website and I'll deploy it to Azure. But the thing is, the thing is, Azure costs money, so I'm not completely sure I'm going to put it on Azure. I know how already. I've gone through all that training. So what I don't know if I want to do that though, because I have to have a database, and then do I want to pay them for a database? I already have a business website, right? So I have it on HostGator. You see that little image on my stream in the lower corner? That one right there. If you check that out, it's on. You can check it out on YouTube or Instagram under Active Minds Games. Active Minds Games. Minds with an S. I have pictures and videos of what that is, how it works. It's basically an expandable, transportable display case, and for miniatures, for small gaming miniatures, that kind of thing. And so I have a website with a SQL server, and I'm thinking, well, I could probably just utilize that because I'm able to build I'm allowed to build multiple sites on my HostGator account. So I might build a second site, maybe run this on there, that kind of thing, and build that up on there. So It's a hobby business what I do, so it doesn't make me a bunch of money, but it is fun to get it out there. I've probably sold, I don't know, I want to say something between 15 and 20,000 units, and I'm trying to get a Kickstarter to make some more because we've sold out of a lot of them. And we're trying to restock and make some better ones, bigger ones, cool inserts, that kind of thing. So that's down the line. That's all kind of what I want to do, and that's part of what got me into streaming, was so that I could try to build up a following, let people know about them, and just try to get that going. And then now I just use it for anything because it's fun. It's fun to get on there, talk. Sometimes people come on, give me a hand, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I have to be clear though, because some people come on thinking I'm teaching something. I'm like, well, if you consider teaching to be your teacher knows less than you do, then yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like yesterday, the last couple of days, I had a guy coming by who was saying, "Hey, I want to take advantage. I want to, mind if I pick your brain about you with your expertise?" And I'm like, expertise? Hey, if you ask me a SQL Server question, short of some, advanced DBA things like, how to configure the SQL Server to work on certain things, I probably wouldn't know that. But as far as SQL goes, that kind of thing, I can write SQL pretty good. I mean, I've done just about everything a developer would do in SQL Server. I wrote an entire application that functioned totally off SQL Server, that deployed code and did all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was a pretty cool app. That's what my job was before at my previous employer, before they gave me the axe. I was the sole developer of the application, and it was running 300 plus reports, and I liked it because it was cool. It was a cool app, man. When I was teaching people how to use it, they'd even go, "Wow, this is a cool app." So, I mean, thank you. But if I do say so myself, it was a cool app. All the stuff that it did. But anyway, it's irrelevant because I'd have to whole nother conversation. All right, let's see if I can figure this darn thing out. All right, so we tried verify the cookie name. Well, I did. My cookie name is definitely a UCL AU token. It matches. This is the post that creates the cookie. We know the cookie's there, so there's not even a question of the cookie existing. So now I'm over here once again looking at my other token. Now we're going to do a cookies. My cookies.get is still returning bogus. So the whole question is there. What if I instead of using cookies, try using to retrieve all cookies. This can help you verify if the cookie is indeed present and accessible. Let me see the code. Well, this is the code here, man. This is the piece right here. These 3 lines. Oh, I'm sorry. These 3 lines. Oh, full screen. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll even make it bigger. Maybe. Well, maybe I won't. You can't zoom in with control mouse wheel? Weird. What kind of nonsense is that? All right, well, that works. Okay, so this is what this is the spot right here. Cookies.get is not finding my cookie because as it goes through and steps through, use DRIT token always comes back as undefined. So it's like it is not seeing this token. Why? Or this cookie? Even now, it's too small now. I just made it bigger. Now it's starting to jump off my screen, man. But I'll make it a little bigger. I don't know why my mouse wheel is not making it bigger. What is going on with my mouse wheel? All right. So that's about as big as I can go, man. This is huge. I could probably sit back here now. Now, granted, I have a 32-inch monitor, and that's probably why it looks small to you, because it's trying to compress a 32-inch monitor down onto, whatever size. Plus, I use like I think it's 4,000. It's a 4K resolution, so that probably makes it pretty tiny. Well, that's big. I can definitely read that from far away. Anyway, my problem is this, and the Chat GPT AI whatever hinted that maybe I'm not reading it right, or I'm not. I've got it writing to a different location, or that it's trying to read it from the wrong location. So I'm going to go ahead and try the trick that ChatGPT suggested, which is to do a get all. I'm not sure what that would be, what that's going to show me. Did it say get all? It said get all, right? Yeah, get all. Instead of using get, try using. Well, let's see if there's anything in there. Now, I don't know what I'm going to get back as that. I'm not sure what the expected response there is. Oops, sorry, I'm taking it off for a minute. Just long enough for me to see my side screen. It should be the same size still. Code has not changed, I just squished it. If needed, I guess I can shrink this. Is there a way to make this go? Oh, there's not a way to make this turn into a pop-up, huh? Pop out? Or I can just... What if I go like this? Oh, alright, that worked. And I can just click on it again. Alright, so there you go. There's that thing. So now I'm going to go back to my app. I'm going to go to the console. Shrink this back up so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to clear this. And I'm not sure what I'm looking for right now. Getting cookies. See, used root token is undefined. It's still showing used root token is undefined. So whatever that is, it's not coming back as a bulk of cookie. I don't know, man. It's like, it must be reading. It's got to be reading the wrong spot. No, I'm sorry. This is not .NET. This is React Next.js. This is my other app. This is my Ultimate Neighborhood Ladder that belongs to. This is my Blazor. Now this is .NET, but I haven't been spending too much time on it. I've been struggling to get my Auth API working here, and I haven't spent any time on it in a little while. But I've been trying to call my Auth API, so you can see I have so much code in here where I kept finding tips and clues on how to set this up. So I'm guessing some of this stuff might not even be required, but I kept trying different things. Oh yeah, and I was setting up Facebook authentication. I'll show that more in future streams, but I got to get this one working first. So yeah, this one is React. This is my other app. That's my side-by-side. But it refuses to come back with any value. So how do I? Yeah. Well, it wasn't my thing either. I am getting there. But yeah, like I said, my Auth API is written in .NET as well. Oops, that's this one. So this I wrote in .NET. So this is what I'm calling. This is how I'm getting my cookie. This is feeding back the token, and the token comes up, and then my React application is consuming it and putting it into this, or putting it into a cookie. So, oops, why is that loading? So the app, it's real simple. This is a very simple app. This is all it is. It's got a register, a login, and a validate token, and it also has weather forecast, which is part of the default crap they give you, so which is nice, something to look at or work with. And then I have, I can make all my calls to this. I know they all work because I have Postman set up. So yeah, so they're calling my auth. That took me a while to get that working correctly because, again, not something I've ever done. Two things I never did before is really get an authorization API, an authorization code of any kind really working, other than the sample I did doing the React Next.js class that I did online that did an author API using Superbase. And then I go, well, I want to do this as a separate API, not a built-in API, so that I can have multiple applications call it, so that both my apps can call it and get the authorizations back, get the codes back. And even theoretically, I can navigate between them. I can go between the React and between this Blazor one, because I could pass the token between them. And then that token would be validated on my API. It goes, hey, it's a good token, you can use it. And so, yeah, I'm able to do cross website stuff that way. That's the theory anyway. That's what I understand. So there, anyway, there's my .NET. So I have done it. I'm doing 2 parts .NET, 1 part React. React/Next.js. Next.js is the middle tier that's going to act as the Blazor web assembly parts, where it works like kind of as a server side. That's what Next.js's job is. Take care of the server side stuff. Anyway, but fully understand it's not your thing, because it wasn't my thing either up until, I mean, I don't even know that it's my thing now. It's just the thing I'm working on. All right, so if I go here, where was I? Where's my, oh God, I'm always losing my assists. Yeah, that didn't work. See, I even put this, again, React is a slightly different engine. There are things similar what Blazor does to what React does on the single document pages. Thanks, Joe. You know, it's a learning experience, but hey, I'm gonna be, I will know a lot. All right, man. You have a good one, and maybe I'll talk to you next time. Nope, don't want that. All right. Nope. Nope. I don't know what happened to my I don't know what happened to my question I asked. Routing middle tier, Google. Nope. Next.js. I really got to shrink all this. Is it 243? Oh, it's past 243. I can talk to ChatGPT again. I don't know what I did. I must have closed it somehow. I don't know how I did that. Okay. Because, yeah, none of this works. As a dependency to use effect hook, the hook will rerun. Alright, well, let's see what ChatGPT says about this, because this guy didn't help. Was not able to solve my problem. Alright. Even after y is token coming back as undefined, I'm making this call even though I can see the cookie exists in the console. Oh, I tried cookies.get. That didn't work. Oh, well. Well, that would explain that. Well, that would explain that piece of it. It did not explain. Okay, so I have a syntax wrong while I did this, but that's not going to fix my problem. Because my problem is not related to, I mean, that was just a syntactical nonsense. See, it's still coming back as, but yeah, it doesn't know. So I look down here, and this doesn't show me anything either. This just shows me the token, which is what I'm getting. Is there does check token actually show up here? Check for cookie, getting cookie values. Then we got blah, 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 blah. Utils cookie, and then that's it. Really doesn't work. I don't know, it's just bugging me. I gotta shrink this back down. Sorry, it's too big. Too big for me. My screen is, I like to have some extra real estate if I can help it. All right, well, that didn't do anything. Still saying cookies not found. And it's saying use DRIT token undefined. No cookie found. Use DRIT. Yeah, use DRIT token undefined. So that's just, yeah, it's not setting. Oh god, so frustrating. Why is it not setting? I know it exists, people. I know it does. All right, I'm going to take the get off. Put this back in. Oops. Actually, let's just do this. So, how do I check the path? If the cookie is not present in document, then it might be an HTTP only cookie, or it was, well, it is an HTTP only cookie. That much I do know. HTTP cookie. If the cookie is marked as HTTP, it can be accessed via JavaScript. You can only send this cookie with HTTP requests, but it won't be accessible through cookies.get. Oh, yaman, yaman, yaman. Oh, okie dokie. Well, how am I supposed to read the values off an HTTP? If the cookie is marked as secure, it will only be sent over HTTP. If you're working on HTTP localhost, it won't be accessible unless you're using HTTP. Okay. Oh, wow. See? ChatGPT to the answers again. Because I am setting it as HTTP only. Voila. Okay. Okay, I have a JWT bearer token set up as HTTP only. All right. Oops. saved to an HTTP only cookie. How do I read the various values stored in that token? Okay, so that's the problem. I've got to decode it first. I've got to decode it first. So what was I doing? At some point I was decoding it. I do have my decode here, but it's not. How do I decode it? Right, constant token rec cookies dot. All right, I'm doing. All right, here's next stage, next JS here. Cookies new cookies dot get, but it's undefined. How is it decoding the token? See, that's kind of throws me off, because it says in onesie you can't access it through JavaScript. Oh, this is technically, I guess what? Is it JavaScript? It's kind of JavaScripty, but it's TypeScript, right? Sort of. TypeScript is more Angular. I don't know. Anyway, I mean, it is JavaScript, I guess. These are JSX files. That is React JavaScript. I know. I'm just jumping around, confusing myself. All right, so all right, let's try this. I'm going to see if it can help me fix what I already have. How do I fix this custom hook considering the cookie I am trying to read is HTTP only? Well, they're both server side. Use DWIT hook will now make a request to the API route you created to fetch the DWIT token, the DWIT data. Is that a get? It is a get. That's what I had before. Oh my gosh, I had that way back when. I had that as part of my but then I got rid of it because nothing was calling it. So if I go back here to my route, see, it was just a post, and then I had a get, but this is now let's just can we please convert the handler to a get method so I can include it in the same class as a related post method. Now, see, I don't want no, I don't want a handler. Give me a separate those into a get and post method, not in a handler. How about a get and post function? Oh my gosh, it can't do it. It doesn't know how to do get and post. It wants to handle them as handlers. It won't do it. It says no, not going to do it. Handle post request, handle get request, handler. Why won't it just create it as a get? It's not understanding my request. I want to do export async function get. That's what I want. There we go. Hello. I know, it was probably something I could have figured out myself. But you know what? Half the entertainment of learning this is trying to see if I could get ChatGPT to do it. It's like, yeah, I could have probably just looked at my previous get or my post and kind of figured out the basic syntax. But interestingly enough, this is not going to work. The export async function your syntax with extras that handle routing API functions for you. If you're working with a more traditional server-side JavaScript environment like Node.js with Express, you would not use the syntax. Oh no, I guess that's not. You know what's weird though is because I have a feeling this is going to cry. Because request and res doesn't work together. Trust me, I've tried this. It keeps telling me rec is not available. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do this. Copy. We're going to pop this puppy right in here. So now I have an export async function get. Now, it's UCL AU token. We're going to token blah blah. Constant decoded try. Cookies equal new cookies records. I feel like that's not going to work. Like it's going to tell me that this is like not available here. All right, well, we're going to try. All right, so the request. Get and post methods, nope. Using the useDruit hook. Modify the useDruit hook. Okay, so let's go back over to my useDruit. Hey, what did I do? I clicked on the wrong place, man. Where'd I go? Something just happened weird. What just happened? I don't know what just happened. Did I actually like shut my window? No. But my page did disappear. That was weird. Okay, it's back now. Alright, so I got the useDruit hook right here, which I'm okay to change it because it's the way it is, it's not working. So we're going to keep trying to figure this out. So we've got no cookie result, fetch token data, async, and then we're going to go try, constant response, await fetch, and there's my API get Druit data, which is actually going to be is it API? No, it's going to be utils cookie. And then we're going to have that. Okay. I ham. Wow. I ham. Can't help but try to say that differently. Okay. What are you coding? Well, I am coding right now the small piece. I'm trying to get my my React application to be able to read my cookies that I finally got populated and working correctly, I think. But I can't read them because they keep failing to read. So I'm using various tools, mostly ChatGPT and Blackbox AI. I gotta admit, they have taken over my Google/YouTube searches because they give back some good answers. It can lead me off in odd ways, but interestingly enough, it usually writes valid code. So in valid code, that means I at least see different ways to do it. If it does give me something I don't want, I'm going, oh, well, that's one way to do it. Cool, but I want it this way. You know, is it possible to do it this way or that way? You know, so I can see the different ways. That's kind of cool about that. But anyway, my problem is that my token was coming back undefined. And it took me 2.5 hours before I finally asked ChatGPT again, what is going on? I actually asked Black Box AI to try to give me solutions that weren't working. And I go, all right, got to go try ChatGPT again. I went back to ChatGPT and I said, okay, this is the problem. Same problem I asked Black Box AI. And it gave me the same solutions, except it said one other thing. It said, one problem you might have is if it's set up as HTTP only, you cannot read it directly. You have to decode it first. And you have to decode it on the server side and then return those values over. And I'm like, well, there it is. Because I am setting it up as an HTTP only cookie, security, supposedly the best way to do it. And I'm like, why didn't you just tell me that the first time? So I said, all right, I asked it another question. Okay, well then how do I get the values out of my Druit bearer token? Druit being JSON web token, I'm saying is a word. So instead of JWT, I'm calling it Druit. So if you ever hear me go Druit, you know what I'm talking about. So I go, I need to get values back from this thing. And it goes, oh, well, if you want to do that, blah, blah, blah. And then it gave me the answer to decoding it and getting the information back. And then I go, well, I don't want it that way. Can you give it to me this way? And I asked it like twice, and it kept rewriting the same code. I'm like, no, that's not what I want. And finally, I was able to ask it in a way that it gave me what I wanted. I knew if my way existed, it just wasn't doing it. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm probably making it more complicated than it is. There's probably, somebody who does auth stuff all the time or works with this stuff all the time. They're like, yeah, that would have taken me like no time at all. But, for a guy who doesn't know what he's doing, who's just learning this stuff, the overall grand scheme of what my stream has been about lately, and one of the things that's going to be an overarching theme of what I'm doing, is I'm creating two side-by-side applications, basically two identical apps, one written in Blazor, one written in React using Next.js as the server-side stuff, for the server-side stuff. And then I have an auth API that I wrote in .NET that's both of them are going to call to get the authentication back. And right now, I'm working with the React application to pull that authentication in and start writing those cookies and reading those cookies and treating, for navigating through the app. On the Blazor side, I got to go back. Once I get this doing what I want it to do, just the basics of the authentication working, I'll go back to Blazor and do the exact same thing, except I'm going to be writing it all in Blazor, which is C#. And it's a C# .NET 8 web application. Not to be confused with a WebAssembly, which, by the way, a lot of the samples and codes I keep getting are written for WebAssembly, which is slightly different. And but apparently, you're either doing a .NET Web app or you're doing a WebAssembly, because I think WebAssembly is kind of like 6.0 and before, and .NET 8 is web app, and they're written slightly different. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. That's my overarching scheme. And the apps I'm writing is called the Ultimate Community Ladder or Neighborhood Ladder, depending on what piece of code you're looking at. I know, I got to change it. It's all going to be the same eventually. But it's Ultimate Community Ladder, which is a gaming ladder that people can join up to, and it will rank. It will let people communicate with each other. Send emails, say, hey, you want to play a game? Let's go play at such and such location. Go play our match of tennis, or go play pickleball, or go play whatever. I'm going to have a lot of different games that they can choose. They can create a ladder. I will create ladders, and people can join them. And then as they play people, they move up and down the ladders as they go. And then I'm going to have, in time, if I can get a few of these ladders going, assuming this thing ever goes live. But when it does, the grand scheme is that it has the ability to actually have what I call the ultra gamer ladder. This is a person who plays a bunch of different games, competes against a lot of different people in a lot of different games, and they move up the ladders according to their points. There will be a point system that will rank them based on how they're winning in all these ladders. So you get more points for playing in more ladders against more people. And then you kind of, based on your win-loss records, you get more points. So it'll just kind of give you this overall arching who's like the king of games, bowling, pickleball, tennis, Yahtzee. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Yahtzee will be one. Maybe not Yahtzee. It's a little, but it could be anything I want to stick in there, and allow people that opportunity to just go meet people in the community and take part and play in these games, having a potential opportunity to move up on the ladder. So, and it can be big because it can be a lot of ladders, a lot of different people playing. I got the idea from an old tennis ladder that used to run around here that seems to have disappeared. It ran for years and it used to be really cool, but now I want to create one that can do more than just tennis. And it'd be cool to get that going again because people enjoyed it. It was great. It was all over the place and you could join in, and there was lots of people who played in it. And so I want to make my apps. And I feel like it's something I can do. I mean, I can conceive. I'm actually that's my skill, is not just being able to code, which by the way I can't. So I say being able to loosely. But it's not just that. It's the architecting of applications and games and other things that I've developed. Coming up with the functional designs and then trying to make those practical so that they can actually be used and actually be played with general public. I've created a number of board games. I created these cases you see in the lower left-hand corner of my stream. I guess that would be lower right-hand corner if you're looking at it. It's my left. But if you're like into miniatures, that's what those cases are for. And I designed those specifically because I was playing a game and hey, I need a good case for these minis because I don't want to buy a gigantic case and I've only got 20 minis. Though I do plan to buy more. I want to be able to just grow. I want my case to be able to grow with me. And that's what this whole thing was about. And eventually it got better, more refined. And I've sold like 15,000 of these units and they're sold out now, mostly. And I need to start making more and blah, 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 blah. So, hey, another person gets to hear my spiel. So I'm going to go back to my task. Let's see if I can get this working. I do have a concert tonight. I'm going to a concert with my one of my sons and my daughter-in-law and my wife. We're all going to go see 21 Pilots, one of my daughter's favorite groups, and actually my son likes them a lot too. I actually like them quite a bit. I liked their earlier stuff, but they sound good. I just don't know their current stuff. So. I don't listen to a lot of radio. I mean, just regular radio. So it's a good chance I don't hear it. And I don't buy CDs. So I get out of the loop. When I'm in my car, I'm listening to like Pandora or Audible. Those are usually, or sometimes I listen to a radio station, local one, but I don't remember hearing any of these songs. Where was I? Now I got to get this working. I was going to just try to use this because mine doesn't work and it rewrote it for me to maybe work. So we're going to try this again. I'm not a big fan of the whole interval stuff, but one of these things put them in. Ultimately, it's about making this read correctly. Now this is not going to be API get token. It's I don't know why it calls it an API. This code is not the auth. It's just the cookie management. So I took it and put it out. I had this discussion with a guy yesterday who thought, why is it in the API folder? Because it's not actually doing an API anything. The auth part is done at this point. I'm just managing the cookie. And I don't. So use AMG authorize is the call to the API. That's the only thing I have right now calling an API. So I don't have anything else working there. So All right, let's go see what my code is doing. Oh, it blew up. What is going on? It don't like me. It said no more. Failed to compile. What is going on? Oh, what did I do? Oops. I have 2 use state. I put that in there. That's what happens when you copy an entire piece of code instead of just what you want. All right, first of all, does my app still exist? Or does my cookie still exist? So, you know, I'm not expecting a cookie. Nope, still exists. Cookie is still good. So why is it still failing? Use Druid token still showing up as undefined. Boo! Wait. Console error, set values, set values. Wait a minute, use true, I don't even have use Druid. Is that? Is there something going on here? Because I don't even have that app, that line of console here. Is that in my, did I put that in here? Use Druid token undefined. Email, data error, no cookie found, set values, no cookie result, no cookie result, data.email. Or, let's do this. Or, I think it said I could do this. Someone at someemail.com. But it's weird because if someone used Druid token is undefined, and that is a. Alright, I gotta stop my code. That doesn't exist. There is no use Druid token. Pretty sure that's not even in existence anymore. Use Druid token. Yeah, it doesn't exist. Why does it keep printing it? Alright, we're gonna stop you. It's time for you to go away. We gotta rebuild. Rebuild. Rebuild him and he will come. Alright. Control C. Y. And run. Shouldn't be calling log messages that, you know, aren't actually in my code. Sound like it didn't quite refresh like it was supposed to. Reality, any kind of code is complicated if you don't know what you're doing. That's what it comes down to. Nav bar, check for cookie. Okay. Then we got all kinds of whatever that is. That looks like errors, doesn't it? That looks like a bunch of gobbledygook. Oh yeah. Cookies is not defined. Utils cookie. Cookies is not defined. What is it? Where is it talking about cookies? Is the word, oh, response.cookies.set. That's the only place I know of that's cookies. Oh, am I supposed to, am I missing an import on this? Wouldn't put it past me. Could very well be. const cookies. No. Oh. Was it there? Oh, I have to import cookies from cookies. Is it using these again? All right. I'll try this. Can't resolve cookies. Oh. So do I not have cookies installed? Cookies. All right, let's see. I don't know. Is it called cookies? Am I just gonna npm install cookies? I don't know. Sometimes these aren't called what they're supposed to be. Probably have to install it. It means it's not. What is the package name? Oh, it is. Gosh, how could I not have that installed? I could have swore I put that in. Why did? I know I had that. I feel like I know I had that. Is there any way to look at my previous recordings? Find out. I've installed so many cookie packages. I feel like they're all in here. npm I cookies. How could I not have that? That's just crazy talk, man. I thought maybe it was a different error, or maybe it was a different thing. But I know oh well. Apparently I don't know. Apparently I do not know anything. It's 4 o'clock. I think we're leaving at 5 something. I probably should start wrapping up pretty soon. I just wanted to get this done today, man. I feel like I gotta move on. It's time to get to the Blazor side of things and go work on over there. Oh, probably not the right one. All right. Let's do this guy. We're gonna close him up, and then we're gonna go all the way up. Nope, don't want to do that. Let's just run it again. Oh, now it can't say cookies, doesn't it? I know I did JSON Web Token because that was already on here because I tried it before. I was doing something else. And then I wrote some code that took it out, and then I took it off, and then it said put it back. Because I keep trying different things. One of these days, one of the combinations of stuff is going to do what I ask it to do. And the world will be a better place for me. Okay. So I'm not seeing any errors. That's good, right? But I do still... Now, do I still have a cookie? Because I did close everything. My cookie may have died. So I may have to go get a new cookie. Cookie! I know, I can't help it. I can't help it, man, because I keep thinking of, look, it's still there. So I still have a cookie. So the question is, what is going to frick on, man? There's different kinds of errors going on here, though. Still getting a bunch of cookies not found, but now we're getting all kinds of weird other stuff. All right, check for cookie. Druid value changed. Cookie not found. So we're getting error fetches. Fetch token data. Wow. These are not what I would expect to see. These are new. UCL token. And we're getting a lot of them because they keep repeating because it's a use effect, and the use effect is just going nuts. Oh no, it's that timer thing. Yeah, that's what's going on. I'm going to turn that off. Because, yeah, this ain't doing anything. Is that the one I want? No. Wait, where's the timer thing? Here it is. I just want you to go away. Oops. Can we put an end to that nonsense that is constantly running? Nope. Where's the... constant blah blah blah. Oh, it's a return clear interval, intervalid, clean up, unmount. Enter. How do I, how do I turn that off? We don't want that. It's, fine. I don't know how to turn that off right now. I mean, I could return clear interval. I don't know what I'm. Just wish I just want to stop. Stop loading stuff. Right. Alright, so get this get method here. Utils cookie. Fetch token data. Eval. Commit hook. All right, these are always the best errors, the ones that say something like that. Internal error. What? What? All right. Used what as coded above is returning oh yeah. Oh yeah. Res status. Yeah, I knew it. 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 Because it gave me a get method that doesn't work because it gives a res. And res and request are different animals, and they come. You can only do certain things on certain places. And this is why I end up going back and forth with stuff, because it ends up rewriting stuff because it does this to me. All right. Where is it? Probably using res status because there it is. Getting res.status is not a function error in this code. Code is in a server, is in a JS file. Is in a route.js file. And there. Utils cookie. Ugh, you have to give ChatGPT and all these things a lot of info. Okay. All right, so I think the next response one might be what I want because I'm using that up above. So let's take this. So it's about the different styles, apparently. And this is one of the things about working with like ChatGPT and Black Box AI is they give you whatever. I mean, it's probably valid for certain focuses, certain types of languages, but it's not always going to give you the right stuff, you know, because it doesn't know what you're doing. It's like you have to like tell it, I'm using this blah and this blah and this blah and this blah, so this way it can write it accordingly, and it probably work because it's pretty smart even when you give it a lot of stuff. But you almost need to have like you have to develop the set of correct info pieces. Like I'm using Next.js with app folder routing, and I'm using, you know, Next.js 20 or whatever the version is, and you're telling it, you have to tell it all those bits, and then it can write it knowing what you're using. And I think it's probably could do that. But you have to like write that out, like put it in a note, and then every time you go ask a question, just glue that onto the bottom. This is my environment, so that it can give you stuff related to your environment. And then you won't be bouncing around trying to come up with the correct syntactical differences for other layouts. Because I am using app folder routing, and it often thinks I'm using pages routing. I mean, it does a bunch of different things, so it thinks I'm doing things different from what I am. So we'll see. Did that fix it? I something. Did it happen? No, I don't think anything changed. Okay, so we're still getting something, but is it the same something? Cannot read properties of undefined reading cookie. Utils cookie. So we're still in utils cookie. At cookies.get. It still doesn't like this. Right, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna check something here, because I don't see a decode going on here. Do you? I feel like this is supposed to be decoding it. Do you? Like anybody's paying attention. Control X. All right, let's go see what this is. No, there's no decode here. Oh wait, it says decoded. Decoded. There is a constant decode there, but this does decode also. But where it says that cookies.get. All right, let's go back. All right, ChatGPT, or not here. Okay. Now I am getting You don't usually need to access headers directly to get cookies. Instead, you can use the cookies method provided by the Next.js API. Here's how to adapt your code. So this is using cookie store instead of headers. I'm okay with that. Let's just do it. Let's just make it work. Let's see if that works. We'll try option number 27. Control V. Worst it can do is blow up. Cannot read properties of undefined. Reading cookies. Still getting the same error. Cookies is not defined. Oh, do I need... Oh, I need to import something here to make that work. Alright, we're going to try this guy. Holy moly, I guess I don't need that one because I didn't know what to do with that. So that was a install that wasn't necessary. Hey, something looks different. Something looks different. It doesn't end in errors. That's different. Let's go see what this is showing. Okay, hey, now we're at unauthorized. Is that because my token finally expired? Because it's been forever. I don't know how long it was supposed to be good for, but it might be very well that it's not. Let's see, does my cookie actually exist anymore? No, cookie still exists. I think. Yeah. Cookie still exists. That's not it. Details cookie. Interestingly enough, though, isn't this decode supposed to be using my... Oh yeah, it's supposed to be using my secret key, which, by the way, it does not have because I did not put it in there. I need to update this. Let's try that again. What is it? Something env. Something. I can't remember all this stuff, man. It's too many different things to learn all at once. All right, it's yeah, it's something dot. It's process dot env dot. Okay. Let's go back here. Oops, no. Process dot env dot whatever it was. What is it called? Secret. My secret, man. It's a secret. I know you're looking at it and the world's gonna know, but hey, this ain't deployed and I can change that secret at any time before I deploy it. So you're not gonna know what it is anyway. I mean, really, are you gonna save that and wait for the opportunity for it to go live? Aha! I know a secret. Aha. Do I not know how to spell secret? Look at that. I spelled it as secret. What the heck is a secret? Holy moly, folks. I don't know what a secret is, but I'm changing that. Holy moly. Is that in here too? I gotta go find out where I might have secret at, because that's dumb. Secret. Oh, did I fix it? All the instances of secret are gone. Okay. Interesting. You know what? That might have been a problem from way back when. Okay, so well, we've got more stuff happening. Fast refresh. Blah blah blah. Reload. I mean, we're not getting as many errors, but we are still getting an unauthorized here. And we're still getting that. A lot cleaner. We've cleaned up some of the problems. But we haven't cleaned them all up because we're still getting process.m.druid secret. And it's supposed to be decoding off of that. Replace with your secret key. I did. All right, let's see what else could be causing this. Could be that I can't call it in line, because sometimes weird things happen when you try to call a variable in line. Or not a variable in line, a reference in line, which is slightly different. It's like I could set a variable to that reference and it might work, but and this is why I didn't want to do any of this stuff in other locations. I want it in one spot. If I need a value, go there. It only has to work once. It doesn't have to work 15 times. And you can't get it wrong 15 times. That's why I do it that way. Yeah, I kind of figured that. Oh, does that work like that? I didn't know that worked like that. That's way better. Yeah, I should have done that before. Well, there's a code in SQL that does that, and I didn't know this. This is actually kind of a cool way for this to work, where you can comma delimit it instead of wait, what am I console.log? Oh, that's a secret. Yeah, all right, let's go here. It should be coming back as exactly what I put in, but it's also possible that I have some symbols and pieces in there that it does not like. Invalid token. Check for cookie value. I am not actually seeing. Oh, here it is. Druid secret. Oh, there it is. It's got the whole thing. I assume that's what I want. Let's go see if it matches. Because if there's something weird going on in my, like it doesn't like something about it. Ah, see, there is something there it doesn't like. Look. Stopping at 2024. So all this crap at the end is getting dumped. My secret is invalid, man. I got a bad secret. It's the kind of secret that nobody wants to keep because it's crap. Apparently squiggly squiggly brackets aren't gonna work, man. Let's go like, can I do that? Nope. How about that? Nope. I don't like any of that. How about that? Okay, took that. And then we'll just go with that. I'm changing up my key. The whole world is gonna break from this. I'm breaking the world. Apparently I can't use some symbols. All right, so now it looks like a full thing, but it's going to complain for other reasons now. Okay, so it got the full key, but now my key is going to be bad because, well, I have to go change it in the root. Which means taking it all the way back to my secret location on the auth app, and then I got to refetch the auth, refetch the key, and see if anything works there. So where's my auth app? Okay, so we're going to go here, solutions, go here, and right click on manage secrets. These are my special secrets. They're just for the user. I'm special that way. Alright, so we're going to go here. I'm going to plug this guy right in there. So that everybody's using the same water buffalo. Alright, so we're going to stop this guy after I save it. Restart. We'll just do a restart. And then we are going to log in again, assuming this wants to let me do that. And we're going to go, here we go, amgamer@family.com. And then we're going to go attempt to pass in the code. My goal, a lot of this stuff I'm learning can be broken up into small chunks. So if I do all these bits, and I can go through all of my old videos and go, hey, this was this, and this was this. So it's going to be like this many hours of me trying to figure it out, and it'll be this many hours of an actual tidbit of how to do it yourself. So I want to do that. It's going to take some time though.